The morning train with Darren. It's the day, Iowa's favorite country.
25 minutes before the top of the hour. Look at my hair if you're watching the video stream. And I'll tell you, I wore that Truck Buddies hat of Joe Denham's that just messed up my Irish do for today. Anyway, it is 25 before the top of the hour. Make that 21 before the top of the hour if I can read. We are sitting right now at 24 degrees here in Fort Dodge. Sunshine, and we're looking for a sunny day with a high of 36, getting back into the 40s as we get into tomorrow even. As I choke there. Coming up in just a little bit, I'll give you a rundown of the K97 weather, of course. But first, let's talk about something that's been going on all month. It's coming to its rounded out stage, of course, as we come out of February. But it's something we should be aware of, talk about, and educate on all year long. And that is Black History Month. And with me, I tell you, there are some people that you really consider it a privilege to call a friend. And Sherry Washington, to me, is one of those. Because as long as I've known Sherry, I have never seen her upset about anything. And I was just talking to Sherry off air, and she asked what we're going to talk about in addition to Black History Month. And I said, well, we're going to talk about the new athletic supporters that came out. And Sherry didn't bat an eye. She just let it sink in. And she's like, yeah, we can talk about that. I mean, this is how fun she is. Sherry, good morning to you. How you doing today?
Hi, good morning, Darren. I'm good. How are you?
Great. You know, I genuinely mean what I say. You and I have been friends for years, and we talk, so many times. And I've never seen you not smiling. I've never seen you not upbeat and happy. I genuinely believe, Sherry, somebody could drop a sledgehammer on your toe and you just go, oh, that's okay. I got 9 other ones. Not a big deal.
I don't know. I have to beg to differ on that one, Darren. I don't know. That sounds like it hurt.
Sherry, it's just so much fun to have you on the air with me. We don't do this enough. We shouldn't do this just once or twice a year. We need to get you on more often because it's a lot of fun to talk about so many different things. I mean, there's so many things that we can talk about in addition to Black history, the NAACP, and all that kind of stuff. We can talk about, just unity and the whole works. There's so many things like we text and talk about all the time. We just, for lack of a better term, shoot the crap, if you know what I'm talking about. I mean, we just do that. But Sherry, I want to talk to you today about this year's Black History Month. And I'm sorry we didn't get together earlier this month because it's kind of rounding down. But Black History Month is something, of course, much better than I do, that we should be educating and aware of and making awareness of throughout the year, because so many African-American people have done so many things contribution-wise to not just our country, but our world over the centuries. And I don't think a lot of people know that some of the inventions you use every day were created by a Black person. Some of the phrases that you use, some of the things that you've got for freedoms-wise that you may not understand. It was all because of hard work, sacrifice, and in some cases, not so fun treatment that a Black person receives. So this is something, Sherry, that I know obviously is near and dear to you, and it should be near and dear to every one of us, because we should all strive to know where our things come from. We should all strive to educate ourselves on everything around us, not just what's in the books that we've all traditionally had and so forth. So this is why I love having you on, especially this time of the year, to help educate us on so many things that we may not be aware of. Have I talked enough, Sherry? Are you good to go now?
Keep going, Darren. I'm good. I'm good over here.
What kind of things have happened here in our area for Black History Month this year? I know there have been some services, some celebrations. Tell us what kind of things we've had so far.
Yes, I've had some celebrations, some services. Each month, I know it's this month that Black history is really on the forefront and always spoke about. But throughout the whole year, we celebrate our heritage just as any other diversity group, So this month we had a program at Second Baptist Church was an example of a Black history program this month. And we kind of reached out to the community of some of the members at the church. As Second Baptist is one of the oldest Black African-American Baptist churches in the state of Iowa, 134 years this year. So with that comes a lot of history. There's a lot of folks here in Fort Dodge who, in the Black African American community, who are members. They're tied to it in one form or another. So that's one thing that happened this month that I can speak on as far as Black history goes here in Fort Dodge. So a
That's
lot of history
fantastic.
there. A lot of
I knew
history there.
that the Second Baptist Church had been around a long time, but I didn't realize it'd been around that long. That's absolutely incredible.
Yes, 134 years this year. Yeah,
Wow.
that is correct.
Wow, that's got to be one of the oldest, if not the oldest, just in our area, period. I mean, you said it's the oldest Baptist church, but it's got to be one of the oldest, period.
Yes, in the state of Iowa, as far as Baptist churches go with the African American community, I'm unaware to really speak on any other Baptist churches or how far their history goes. But I can say for Second Baptist Church, we are 100 years old.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. You know, I my first degree actually is from Faith Baptist Bible College in Ankeny. And we used to go down to, because we had some friends that also went to Faith that were members of True Bible Baptist down in Des Moines. So we used to go down there with Tony and a couple of our other friends all the time. Great church down there as well. Just a lot of fun and energy in the service. You just love that. But that's me, Second Baptist. I didn't realize 134 years. That is that's mind-boggling, actually.
Yes, yes. And our African Americans, we're rooted in faith. So faith is all that we know. I mean, it starts there, it ends there. That's what we're taught, so God first and everything else second. So that's how, as any other nationality, it's just not African American and Black. But for us, because I am African American, I can say that I do know that we are rooted in faith and we do put God first. And we try to, at least many of us, in all that we do. So that's
fantastic. Sherry, that's so fantastic, and that is so good to know, because again, it's educating all of us. No matter what our nationality is, what our race is, it's educating all of us when you say things like that. And that's why I love having you on, because you spread some information and education that we may not already be aware of. Another one you and I talked about off air that many people may not be aware of is our local chapter of the NAACP, which you are president of. You are all like legit now, man. It's like it's all completely official.
Yes, yes. Actually, it's a new announcement. We haven't had a chance to really cement and get with our board here this week yet. But as of the weekend, on the 20th, Nationals was, they had their board meeting, and we're cemented as far as rechaptering goes. And it was a very long process. It took longer due to COVID, of course. Everything, last year, 2020 was just I think everybody had to pump their brakes, everything slowed down for 2020. So it took it took longer than anticipated. However, we are there. So that's
fantastic.
You didn't say anything
about I see that.
You didn't say anything about my box braids yet. I thought that was the conversation for today.
I was going to, but I thought, I don't know. I'll let her bring that up first.
Oh no, this is heritage, honey. This is heritage. Oh, heritage. You gotta recognize.
And that's why I keep the red hair, because that's Irish heritage.
Oh yeah. So you're representing. You're representing your heritage here. Keep it red.
Oh, absolutely, man. Sister, we're on the same sheet here. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. The hair says it all. Our hair is our crown.
I was going to say something, Sherry. Honestly, I thought, wow, look at her beautiful hair. But I thought, no, I'm going to let her bring it up as she wants to. It looks fantastic.
Definitely. Yeah, it's new for me. I think that if I had box braids, it was probably way back farther than I can remember. But I think when I went on a cruise, I think that's the last time I had it, back in the 90s or something, that I had box braids. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do that. I've been saying that for a long time. And finally, I stepped out on faith and went and got it done. And I'm like, I
Stepped
like
out
it.
on faith. I love
stepped
it.
out on faith. Yeah, because I didn't know what it was going to look like. I mean, how do you know what a new dude's going to look like? And it's not like you're sitting there for 5 minutes. You're not sitting there for 5 minutes. You're in that chair for a few hours.
Right.
So when it's done, it's done. So yeah,
You stepped out on faith. I love that.
I
I
stepped out on faith and got box braids to represent.
Next, next time I get my hair cut, I'm going to tell my stylist that, look, I'm stepping out on faith with you cutting my hair
Step
right
up.
now.
There it is. There it is. Step out on faith. Go ahead.
Takes
Get
all
that
of
new
about
do.
4.5 minutes to cut this, Sherry. It doesn't take much at
Yeah,
all. So,
that's okay. Let it flow.
oh, see, this is why I love having you on. You're just so happy and
Oh,
upbeat all the time. But Sherry, I want to talk a little bit about people from Black history that have made incredible contributions over the years, and I know you know a lot of them. You and I many times just one-to-one have talked about a lot of them. I think back to one of my college classes. I love history, and even though that wasn't my major, I took a couple of advanced history classes. And one of my classes, the professor gave us an assignment, and the assignment was, now your family and your religious figure aside, I want you to list the top 10 people that have had the biggest contributions and impact on our country over the years. And so that I did my list and submitted it. This is back in the day before you could submit it online. You actually had to submit it on paper, so
yeah,
he got that.
yeah.
Well, the following class, after he graded them and read them, he was going through them with the entire class. And he said, Mr. Helton, can you tell me who you had down as number 7 on your list? And I said, well, I had Rosa Parks. And he said, you're exactly right. So why did you put her down as one of the 10 biggest people that impacted our country? And I said, because this lady with a small 2-letter word changed the course of history. And that 2-letter word was no. She was asked to move to a different seat on the bus, and she said no. And that 2-letter word changed the course of history, because from there, the desegregation process started. Civil rights got a bigger boost. I mean, it just, this one little beautiful lady, because of one small word, changed the course of history. And he gave me an A for that. He said, you're exactly right. So that's amazing that people like that, Sherry, that are from the African American community have had such an impact on our everyday lives. Could you imagine where the civil rights movement may have still happened, but it would have been slowed down. Desegregation may have happened, but it would have been slowed down had Rosa Parks not just said, no, I'm not giving up my seat, I'm not moving.
Yeah, yeah. And that's one thing that that we all know, that we did a lot in the background. We just weren't on the forefront with it. So a lot of things that you see, some of the works that were completed in the front were things that weren't spoke about of who did them in the background. So a lot of that history comes out as we see, generation after generation, we start hearing of some of the deeds and some of the things that happened in the background that wasn't brought to the forefront. And as far as Mother Parks goes, one thing that we were always taught was to stand up for what you believe in, to stand on it, stand in it, So, if your word is your bond. So whatever you believe, stand on it, and she believed that. She was tired. She did just as much work as anybody else. So if she sat in that seat was hers, and she stood on it, So she stood up for what she believed in, and she stood on her word. So no was no. And here we are
Absolutely.
talking about it here today, generations and years later.
Absolutely. And again, one small 2-letter word changed the whole course of history at that time. And, the poor lady, she was, like you said, she was standing firm on her belief. Back then, Sherry, that she could have been followed home and
Yes.
mistreated. But she stood
Yeah.
up and said, no. She didn't stand up. She sat down. She sat there and said, no,
Yeah.
not moving.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
bless her.
Not moving. Yeah.
God
And good
bless
for
her.
you. And good for you for highlighting that and getting an A in it, and that your professor acknowledged it. So there were some professors who just weren't aware of history, of the Black American history, and some didn't know how to grade it or how to really address it. So kudos to your professor for recognizing as well. So
That's awesome. Yeah. That was 30 years ago, Sherry, is Dr. Culver, but yeah, you're exactly right. You know, I felt honored that he acknowledged that and actually had me say to the class why. But you know, but that's one example of hundreds and hundreds that we could give. You know, I've got a couple of daughters that just got back from Florida, and they were in Daytona, and they were so excited because they got to go visit the Jackie Robinson Museum, and you know, they absolutely loved it. And you know, and so there's so many people of the Black community, of the African American life over the decades that have changed and helped and advanced so many things that we are all enjoying today.
Yeah, you know, we all connect together collectively, you know, all of our cultures, you know. Like me, I love Italian food, you know, Italian food, Italian music, you know, put on some Frank Sinatra and give me some lasagna and I'm good to go, you know. I can do that this month, I can do that next month, you know. Sing a little Summer Winds, Frank Sinatra, bring it on, you know.
Oh, Sinatra's my boy.
Yeah, Summer Winds.
Yeah, he's
Summer
my.
Winds
Oh, that's one of my favorite songs of his too, Sherry.
I'm telling you.
That is awesome.
There's a little background, a little education, Black history education. Frank Sinatra.
Well, you know, and Frank Sinatra, because he was another one who, as a Caucasian person, stepped up and you know,
Sammy Davis
Jr. Yeah, Sammy he was allowed to perform at these big hotels and casinos, but he couldn't stay there until Sinatra stepped up and said, "Look, he stays, or we don't perform,
or we don't play." Dean Martin, all of them. Yeah, yes, the Rat Pack. You know, so there's some history. So we all tie in together. You know, so Black history, there's roots. You know, our roots run deep. So we're connected. We're all connected. Whether it's Black history, Chinese history, Asian history, Hispanic history, Italian history, we all run together. You know, those roots run deep, you know. Still waters run deep. You know, look up under the waters and you'll see some deep roots. So that's where we are today.
Absolutely. You know, there's a country artist named Ronnie Dunn. He's part of Brooks and Dunn. And he had a solo hit called Bleed Red. And it basically is We All Bleed Red. And we do. You know, there's nobody that walks this earth in the human form that if you cut yourself or whatever, your blood isn't red.
Yeah. That's right. As far as we know, that's all we've ever saw.
Right, exactly.
Scientifically, this is scientifically proven.
You know, as I said, the report that I did, the top 10 that I did, that was 30 years ago. If I had to redo that now, I would put Sherry Washington like at number 7 or 8 or 9, just because of, you know, everything you do, plus the new hairstyle. I mean, I would have you right on the list, Sherry.
Thank you. I'll take it for the hairstyle, but all the other things, you know, I feel that we all do it together, you know. You know, I guess I'm just one of those voices that stand out there to connect us all. But really, I have to give all the honor and the thanks to the folks that are out there making it happen, you know. So to each and every one collectively, we bring it to the forefront.
Wow, that's fantastic. You pass the credit on like that, Sherry. You're very well known for all the things that you have done, all the things that you do, and you know, you have a very, very good reason why you are recognized and highly respected for all that, because you also work very, very hard at advancing your educational background and things of education that are important as well. So kudos to you, sister. You do a fantastic thing. I got a comment here. I don't know if I'll put it up, but I don't want to get controversial. It says, does Sherry support the 1618 project? I apologize. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, actually, I really don't want to speak on it because I haven't really, I can't say I'm versed enough to really comment on it. However, I will look more into it and kind of see if I can form an opinion to get back with Mr. Russ here. Is that Russ the last name?
Yes.
Yeah, and give you an answer. You know, let me check it out a little bit more before I speak on it. I like to educate myself and have a little knowledge on all of it collectively before putting it out there.
Absolutely. And that's what you call an informed opinion, which is different than just an opinion.
Yes.
So good for you. And I didn't mean to put you on the spot with that. I honestly don't know what the 1618
No, that's
is.
fine. No, that's fine. Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate your comment like that, and I know you will look into it. And you will get back.
I will.
So I appreciate that. Sherry, I got to let you go. We don't have you on enough. Sister, you're welcome here anytime.
Yeah.
You know that. You just need to contact me and say, hey, can I be on your show? I got something to talk about. And you know that you're going to get on. So good to see you as always. Love the new hair. Next time I'm around you, I'm around you, I'll try not to play Irish Celtic music because it'll make you want to jump off a cliff. We'll just
That's right. Play anything. You know, I grew up here. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's depressing.
Growing up here in the Midwest. Growing up here in the Midwest, you know, rock and roll, Celtic, whatever you want to put on, we can go with the flow there.
We got
Just
it
spin
all.
the record. We'll make it happen.
Hey, next time we're together, I'm going to play the Rat Pack. Because if you've seen my office, you know I've got a lot of Rat Pack merch in there and paraphernalia.
Yes,
I'm a huge fan. So
yeah. Oh yeah, look, and don't forget about the art on the wall. You know, we got Elijah Muhammad, we got Bob Marley, and everyone up there. You know, so you see the art in the background. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all the folks that's making it happen.
I was actually going to use this background, Sherry. I was actually going to use this background when we were talking. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, I like it. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's just some of the African American contributors over the years, and there's so many of them. I mean, it's just incredible. And this is a small fraction of how many have. So, Sherry, I appreciate all you do, and not just do for the NAACP and for the Black community, but what you do for us in general. You really do make us better people, and I genuinely mean that. So I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy every minute of every day. You appreciate you taking the time to be on with me. And again, you're welcome anytime. So just get in touch with me.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. It's always an honor and a privilege to be on your show and to get a chance to speak with you. Thank you for everything.
Anytime. We'll talk to you soon. All right. You too. Bye-bye. Sherry Washington, she is a sweetheart. If you don't know her, get to know her. She really is a fantastic person. Again, she's our local president of the NAACP. God bless her for taking the time. If you try to get a hold of Sherry, man, she is busy. She's on the go constantly. So God love her for that. Hey, I'm going to take just a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to close out the morning train. I got talking with Sherry quite a bit, which we like to do because we don't talk enough. And I'm going to close out the morning train. So thank you for being a part of it. But stay right here.